Turner.
Make money, give it up one time. Here's to what it means that we make it tonight. Shake up the haters with a smile and say, hey, make money.
Welcome, everyone, to the Best of Winter Meetings, presented by Cone Resnick. I'm your host, Greg Amsinger. The 2023 MLB season concluded last month. The offseason is now in full swing, and a lot of fans like you and I are wandering out there aimlessly in the cold, waiting for March to roll around and fill that baseball-sized gap in all of our hearts. But the offseason isn't just a waiting room. It's a time for reflection, a time for reminiscing about the past, the good and the bad. We remember those somber moments of our favorite players getting injured only months into the season, and those more vindicating moments, how our team, the team we've been following our whole lives, finally won the pennant. All of these emotions pop into our heads when the baseball diamonds fall silent. But there's one more detail we often forget about. Sometimes the stars align for a ball club, and the one deal that originated from this very same dark and cold time of year brings a team a championship they've been searching for. Today, we're taking a look at some of the best winter meetings deals in MLB Network's history. So put on those rose-tinted glasses because we're basking in all the nostalgia today. We're talking blockbuster deals, the out-of-left-field trades, and the partnerships between a player and a club that just made sense. Kicking it off at number 20 is a recent interdivisional shakeup from last year's winter meetings.
Another report that you have, JP Morosi, is that Wilson Contreras is leaving the Chicago Cubs finally and going to the St. Louis Cardinals in an agreement on a 5-year deal, basically as Yadier Molina's replacement.
Right. The guarantee amount on this is right around $90 million, which is $18 million per year. That's about what we expected Contreras was going to get. And this now is a huge puzzle piece of this offseason because Contreras has been the #1 free agent catcher out there. There was some doubt, whether it's because of the rivalry and a lot of heated games between these two franchises over time, if Contreras was going to actually join the Cardinals, but he will. But this, I think, for the Cardinals, this protects some of their internal position player depth.
We've had Yadier Molina for 2 decades. He's been an amazing catcher, first ballot Hall of Famer, and he's going to be missed. And so the approach is, we know we're not going to be able to go sign a Yadi, but we know we can find someone, we hope, that can fill his shoes in the sense of, from an offensive perspective, probably give us a lift, from a defensive perspective, be able to manage our pitchers.
I came here because I knew the history of the team. I know this is a team that's looking forward to win, and the whole organization is looking at one direction, just to get back to the World Series. Yadier Molina, we all know who that guy is. He set the bar really high, and he was my idol. I wouldn't lie about it. I already told him too. But I came here to be Wilson Contreras, and for me it's an honor to succeed a Hall of Famer.
Longtime Cubs catcher Wilson Contreras left Wrigleyville for the Cardinals in the winter of 2022, and he made sure to revel in the jeers on his return to Wrigley Field in his new uniform.
It's been emotional last few days for me, for sure, and but I'm happy to be back here at Wrigley Field.
Unforgettable moments with that man right there, and there he is taking in the moment as the Cubs gave him a tribute video.
Leading off the Cardinals' second inning, designated hitter number 40, Wilson Contreras.
On the ground, and welcome back to Chicago, and look at him. Look at Contreras, say boomy some more.
And that's hammered way back and off the wall. Contreras into second.
He is relishing his time here, and the reaction he's getting from the fans, both positive and negative.
Jeff Passan, Kenley Jansen, and the Red Sox.
Wow,
2 for 32 for Kenley.
Relief market, Matt, is exceptionally strong right now.
That is a terrific deal for Kenley Jansen.
This is the first time he's been in the AL too, right?
That's right. He had a good year, though. I think you look at last year with Atlanta. I think he's coming off an excellent year, and what we're seeing here is just the value in relief pitching. I think broadly speaking, the Padres here in San Diego, they set the tone. The Suarez deal, the Martinez deal, even non-closers are getting lucrative deals. Chris Martin is one such example. So I think overall, the health of the industry overall, broadly speaking, is very strong.
Boston had to get involved at some point in some of this. They had to address.
And they still need Bogarts, by the way.
They still need starting staff help as well. I mean, there's a lot of work to do there.
Crazy day for the Padres and Red Sox on Sunday as it involves Adrian Gonzalez. The sides had a deal worked out that would send the first baseman to Boston, but they could not work out a contract extension by the 2 o'clock Eastern deadline, so the deal was off. The sides were granted more time, and they did indeed come up with a trade. Gonzalez is heading to Boston, and John Heyman tells us from the side of the winter meetings what went down.
Well, they made it work. They need to get the parameters in place, and I believe they have done so right now. They will not announce an extension for Adrian, but it is believed he's going to get a 7-year extension for about $161 million, about $23 million a year, which is marked as share of money. Not too bad. It's over the 7 years, though, and he will retain the $6.2 million salary that he has for this year. So in all, it's going to be 8 years, $167 million. It took a little while to work it out, but finally was worked out. I think MLB may have loosened that deadline a little bit, as they did with Johan Santana a few years back in the Mets. When it's a player of this magnitude, they're willing to listen if they're feeling that they're fairly close to a deal.
So Adrian Gonzalez in one day goes from a bargain to one of the highest paid players in all of baseball.
On that, Yalof, a 3-team trade, a blockbuster trade, is getting closer and closer to completion. John's going to fill us in on the details. Who's involved and who's going where, John?
Well, when it's completed, the Yankees will get Curtis Granderson. That's the big name for them and the only name.
This is such a potent offensive club that he doesn't need to be the center of this Yankee offense. You're talking about a team that has some good right-handed, good left-handed pop. My concern would be his numbers, his average has gone down, his home run production was up, but he's had a difficult time the last year and a half hitting left-handed pitching, and he's going to see some good left-handed pitching in that American League East, but I thought they gave up a lot to get Curtis Granderson.
You got a 29-year-old guy who's a very good defender, 30 home run hitter last year. Yeah, he's a .210 hitter against left-handed pitching in his career. He will struggle there, but I'm telling you, his power plays perfectly to Yankee Stadium. 30 bombs last year, 25 to the pole field. He might hit 40 as a Yankee.
Curtis, give something sort of grandish. There it goes! 3 home runs for Curtis Granderson. Fabulous catch.
Curtis Granderson just surprises you with his power.
Grand slam for Curtis Granderson. And one of the great catches you'll see. The Grandy Man can. Oh, the Grandy Man can.
The bases are loaded, 1 out.
Punched out, and the Phillies have come all the way back.
Aaron Nola has been terrific.
Oh, what a catch by Castellanos! Swung on, crushed, and the Phillies are going to lead it. JT Realmuto, an inside the park home run.
The 8th strikeout victim of the night for Zach Wheeler.
Leadoff home run for Kyle Schwarber.
What a ride in Game 4. Harper, the swing of his life.
And they're the champions of the National League.
Welcome back to the Best of Winter Meetings, presented by Cone Resnick. Well, the Philadelphia Phillies were coming off an unimaginable postseason run in 2022. They needed to capitalize on that momentum heading into the 2023 season. So let's take a look at the moves from Philly during last year's winter meetings.
Right, all I know right now, it's a 4-year deal for Taijuan Walker. They were looking for an extra starter. Obviously, the top of that rotation is outstanding right now with Nola and Wheeler and Ranger Suarez. And, you know, I mean, Taijuan Walker developed that splitter last year and was very, very effective for the Mets. And, you know, he gets a 4-year deal from Philly.
I think for Taijuan Walker, highly coveted pitcher, in that second tier of pitchers with a Chris Bassett, with a Taijuan Walker. The Kyle Gibson's probably a little around that range as well. Carlos Rodon a little bit above them. But this is a guy who's a very good pitcher. He's got a tremendous split, gets a lot of ground balls, and so infield defense is going to matter. So they did upgrade overall on this season with Trey Turner. Turner's not the best defensive shortstop, but it's an upgrade. He's got range, and going over to Stock going over to second base improves them defensively there too. So this is a guy who's a warrior. He'll pitch hurt. He'll pitch through some pain. He'll go out there and compete every single time. He's a great teammate and a real athletic guy on the mound. So I love this signing for them.
Taijuan Walker, when you go back to last year with the Mets, with Scherzer and DeGrom being down, who held down the fort?
Walker did and Bassett did, right? The kind of the second-tier guys. And when you look at Walker, 2021, he made 30 starts. 2022, he made 29 starts. This guy's a workhorse. And I just love the sign. He fits into that rotation with Wheeler, Nola, Suarez. I think it's a great sign for the Phillies.
We now know where Trey Turner is going, and we nailed it. We've talked about this for weeks. According to Jeff Passan with ESPN, shortstop Trey Turner and the Philadelphia Phillies are in agreement on a contract, a source tells ESPN. Not that big of a surprise. We had thought that Trey Turner and the Phillies were a good match. Your take on this? Trey is now back in the NL East.
Yeah, I thought this was the most obvious place. He has a long-standing relationship with both Bryce Harper and the hitting coach Kevin Long from their days together in Washington. The Phillies saw what big game hunting can mean for them, getting to the World Series last year. The owner, John Middleton, was thrilled with all of it. I suspected that he would open his wallet further. This doesn't surprise me. And what a move in the NL East to Verlander. Is the Phillies, who finished behind the Mets, but made it to the World Series, getting Turner.
Coming off of a tremendous season, going to the World Series. But listen, in those markets, that's great. Now what are you going to do for me, right? It's all about what's next. I mean, that's fine. Okay, great. We're done celebrating. What are you going to do for me right now? And you also have to understand, you have to bring in the right players in those markets. Not everybody can play in the market like that.
I would have to think that there's something going on in the noggin right now of Trey Turner.
His frustrations may be boiling over here.
Be a good time for Turner to hit his 11th home run.
Turner 8 for his last 62.
Philly fans, you got to have faith because it's starting to turn.
High and deep left field, it's gonna go!
It's got to feel great for him.
A 3-run home run for Trey! And this place is jumping for joy. I guarantee you they're all standing now.
Yep.
He answered their call!
I don't think I can say thank you enough, and we appreciate it.
While we're speaking of great Philly stories, let's dip our toes back into the waters of nostalgia during the 2019 offseason. The Phillies signed a tried-and-true ace to a 5-year deal that is still paying off today. Take a look at who fills in at number 14.
Zach Wheeler has become the hottest name on the free agent market. There is a lot of momentum. Is this leading toward a conclusion sooner rather than later?
Yes, Matt. I expect this is going to go down any day now.
But the big news is the biggest contract. No offense to Cole Hamels, but Zach Wheeler, at 29 years old, gets 5 years and $118 million from a division rival, the Philadelphia Phillies.
I thought adding to the rotation was really important, and we added Zach Wheeler, who obviously, you know, you look at his track record the last couple of years, he's been outstanding, and I think there's even more in there. This is a power pitcher with a big arm and good break and stuff, and I'm just really excited to have him and Nola at the top of our rotation, and then you have, Jake Arrieta, who's coming back, and then, the other spots, there'll be some guys competing, and those guys can, help us along the way as well.
Speaking of San Diego, they are celebrating big news. Xander Bogaerts, shortstop, formerly of the Boston Red Sox, agrees to an 11-year, $280 million contract with the Padres, who broke it, none other than our own John Heyman. 280, 11 years. Correct me if I'm wrong, he's over the age of 30. We've got another shortstop that just agreed to a deal that's going to take him past the age of 40. Bring you back inside the Manchester Grand Hyatt. It's Greg Amsinger, Sean Casey, and the man of the hour. Well, the second man of the hour, because Bogaerts is the man of the hour.
That's true.
John Heyman. John, make this make sense to all of us.
Well, I mean, Xander Bogaerts is a terrific player. First of all, he's been a great shortstop. He's won 2 championships, one as a third baseman, one as a shortstop. He is a great hitter. He has improved defensively. The same age as Trey Turner. He's getting a little bit less than Trey Turner. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder. To me, it makes sense. It surprised me a little bit that it was this high, but as I look at it, as I look at the stats, I think they're fairly comparable players, so, I get it.
When you heard the news, Sean,
Stunned.
What did you think of this?
Stunned. Absolutely stunned. Not totally stunned, obviously, because A.J. Preller, they'd already gone after Trey Turner. They went after Judge, too, it looked like. And for A.J. Preller, what he's been doing, with this roster, with the Padres the last couple of years, it's exciting. If you're a Padres fan and they get Xander Bogaerts, and now I think probably Tatis obviously will end up in the outfield, but they got some studs.
Right.
You got some studs on this team.
The roster is, I think if it speaks for itself, it's pretty stacked. Top to bottom, the pitching. I watched a lot of games in the playoffs. Obviously with that trade that they got Hader at the deadline. I don't it's a tough question, but yeah, I think I'm fitting great. The more position players you have of high caliber, high talent, I mean, the more problems it creates. It's just the better.
Well, welcome back to the best of winter meetings presented by Cone Resnick. You know, back in 2015, the Atlanta Braves were in the midst of a rebuild, having dealt Shelby Miller in a multiple player trade with the Diamondbacks that yielded 2015's top overall pick, Dansby Swanson. The rest is history. Here's Swanson, who slots in at number 12.
Let's move on to this trade that the Braves and Diamondbacks pulled off yesterday. The exceedingly rare case scenario, Kenny, where a number 1 overall pick is traded in the same year that he was made the number 1 overall pick.
Now, the reason this trade is the talk of the industry is because of what Arizona gave up. You mentioned it. The number 1 pick in last year's draft, shortstop Dansby Swanson. It's shocking, simply put, to see the number 1 pick in the draft traded just months after he was drafted, especially when the Diamondbacks had paid him a $6.5 million signing bonus. This deal, in the eyes of virtually everyone in the industry, is an absolute knockout. It's a huge win. Swanson is a Georgia kid. He's from Kennesaw, and he will be paired with Ozzie Albies up the middle, 2 fast guys, plus runners who can also hit. And they are looking now like they're going to have an exciting team, not necessarily in 2017 when their ballpark opens, but certainly beyond that. They're building towards something. And this trade, again, in the eyes of the industry, was a knockout.
Well, this has the potential to be a real win-win for both teams. For the Braves, maybe not in the immediate future as it might be for Arizona.
When I look at Dansby Swanson, I see Alan Trammell. I see that type of potential.
Yeah, it really is an exciting trade.
Dansby Swanson, the former Vandy shortstop, going to the Braves.
Dansby Swanson's coming up tomorrow.
Playing for your hometown team and basically going out there and doing what you've worked your whole life for is pretty special.
This could be page 1 in a pretty good history book.
Line drive. There's his first big league hit.
That is the first of many pieces of memorabilia.
His first big league homer, and inside the park bomb in Washington. What a play and what a throw. Braves win. Dansby Swanson. Ball game.
What a big league play. Dansby with fire in his eyes and pumping up his dugout. There is a new champion of the National League.
Home run. Swanson.
The Atlanta Braves are world champions.
I'm an Atlanta lifer. I live and die the city of Atlanta.
Spectacular play by Dansby. How in the world did he do that?
This trophy, this is ours, Atlanta. This is everybody's.
And congratulations on Cody Bellinger. We've got breaking news. You're welcome.
Really? Nice.
Yeah, you're welcome.
That just happened?
Yeah.
Did it really?
Just happened.
Nice.
John Heyman reported. I
All
just
right.
got that in my
you guys are in the know.
Bellinger needs to change the scenery. I think going there into Chicago, that can be a good hitter's ballpark at times. And, for me, Bellinger, listen, this is a guy that plays a Gold Glove center field, can play a little bit over there at first base too. I think it's been tough to watch him, though, a little bit. He was so good in 2019 with the numbers that he put up, 47 home runs, 115 RBIs, and then all of a sudden you start to see the splits. The slug is down so much, even the on base, obviously, but the OPS plus, I'm hoping he can go to Chicago and get things going.
Well, I think for him, he needs to have a big year. It's not about the money this year. It's about the money next year. It's about the multi-year deal he wants beyond that.
This guy is back in business, right? Cody Bellinger.
He's done it again. Another belly bomb. Well, he is just red hot.
He was Gold Glove anywhere you put him. Added value consistently.
Coming in, Bellinger slides and makes the catch. Beautiful play by Cody Bellinger.
It's a sweet, sweet swing, man.
God! Oh, baby, onto the batter's eye. He crushed it.
Cody Bellinger with a rocket.
He has an ability to get hits when a lot of guys don't.
It's a 5-hit night for Belly. First career 5-hit game.
Well, we all know the Rays are a constant threat in the AL East nowadays, but in 2018, they were working towards a rebuild and needed a multitude of different kinds of players, some to kickstart their postseason aspirations fast, and others to cement themselves in the club for a long time. Yandy Diaz was the latter, who comes in at number 10 on our list.
There hasn't been news to open up a show with. Here, we have it. Go ahead and give it to us.
We have a trade that 2 hours later, I'm still trying to figure out exactly what it means for each team, but it's a very complex deal, and here it is. You can see right there, Cleveland gets Carlos Santana from the Mariners. He had been there about a couple of weeks. Jake Bauers from the Rays. He had been one of the top first base prospects in the game. Mariners get Edwin Encarnacion and a competitive balance round B pick from Cleveland. The Rays get Yandy Diaz and Cole Sulser.
I think this deal for them is about how much they like Yandy Diaz. You look at, I'm sure they looked at all these things more than I do, the hard hit ball numbers that he has. This is a guy who squares at the baseball. Has tremendous opposite field power. I don't think they were down on Jake Bauers. I think they saw they'd rather have Diaz. And he could play either corner for them. I'm not sure where he's going to wind up. I think it depends what they do the rest of this winter.
Their valuation of Diaz is significantly higher than their valuation of Bauers as we sit here right now.
He can play third base. That's where he probably has his most value. Also can play first, maybe move him around a little bit. Cleveland never could find the spot for him. That's kind of why they traded him.
We have one of our favorite Rays. He's now our StatCast standout, Yandy Diaz. We made contact, disciplined, but now he's hitting for power.
He's been their best hitter all year long.
It's all coming together.
That baby's gonna go! A grand slam for Yandy Diaz.
That ball was absolutely destroyed.
Look at the hard hit rate. He's almost 14%. You can put a crown on Yandy Diaz.
Tampa Bay, once again, man, they figured it out.
Jason Worth is on the move, and the destination may surprise you. It's not New York, it's not Boston, it's not Texas, it's not Detroit. It's on to Washington to play for the Nationals. Worth agrees to a 7-year deal worth $126 million. That's an $18 million a year average for 7 years. Jason Worth emerged as a superstar with the Phillies over the last few years. In 2010, he hit 27 home runs with 85 RBIs, 75 extra base hits. He really was a force from the right side in the Phillies lineup. This may soften the blow a bit after the Nationals lost Adam Dunn to the White Sox just a few days ago.
It's a big day for the Washington Nationals. We're very proud to announce the signing of Jason Worth to a contract with the Washington Nationals. He'll be a centerpiece of our ball club on the field and in the clubhouse. It kind of exemplifies, phase 2 of the Washington Nationals process. Phase 1 was a scouting and player development, build the farm system type of program. We feel that we're well on our way of doing that, and now it's the time to go to the second phase and really compete for division titles and championships.
Now this crowd is into it as Jason Worth stands in. Third in the league in hitting. Extra bases for Worth.
Another epic Worth at bat.
Star power and absolutely red hot. He's been their MVP.
Jason Worth, the National League Player of the Month in July. Jason Worth, who has really put this team on his back for 2 months.
Boy, and Worth needed a tranquilizer dart.
I think I blacked out. I really don't remember.
Deals being made. Garrett Cole, 9 years and over $300 million. Big business and some baseball history. Garrett Cole going to the Yankees, a seismic deal.
The Yankees had made an offer last night. Brian Cashman came with an offer, and it was higher than Strasburg, but I believe below $300 million. So they worked all day. They were intense negotiations between the Yankees and the Garrett Cole camp, and they got it done. Morris wanted the 9 years. He's 2 years younger than Strasburg. Strasburg got the deal age 31 for 7 years, and Garrett Cole's only 29 years old still. And so he thought that 9 years was appropriate and $324 million. So it's a record. The Yankees get their man.
When you look at what he brings to the table
Absolutely.
And how he's learned how to perfect his secondary stuff, this is why you get $324 million. And when you talk about, I don't care where I pitch, friend, when you watch this stuff and guys know what you're featuring, but you can't hit it, that's the toughest thing for any hitter that gets in that box, John.
I mean, he's amazing. I mean, he was so dominant in so many games. Very smart guy. UCLA, a lot of people thought, he's a West Coast guy. He's from Orange County, went to UCLA. He's going to want to stay here. They said from the very beginning, it's not about the geography. It's not about hometown. I mean, he wanted, obviously, the best deal, and that's what 98% of free agents wanted.
If the Yankees are going anywhere, Cole's got to be the guy.
11 strikeouts for Garrett Cole.
A brilliant performance in the Bronx.
I'll tell you what, I think this is his year.
I feel like this is the best I've seen Cole.
It's everything you want your number one starter to be.
Garrett Cole's stuff is next level.
Strike 3.
Boy, is it going to be tough to take him out of the game or what?
A complete game shutout for Garrett Cole.
he's all in and takes responsibility in being that guy.
Garrett Cole for winning the AL Cy Young Award.
There you have it. Go ahead and get your hug there, Garrett Cole.
It makes me very proud. We have 5, now 6 Cy Young Awards in the organization, and we've had a lot of great pitchers over the years. So I take a lot of pride in going out there and representing the Yankee organization and all the great players that have come before us. To be joining them is truly very special and is part of a greater dream that I had, I think, as a kid.
The Rays are active. Chaim Bloom of the Rays will join us later on. And this coming in, first we'll get this from Jeff Passan. Free agent starter Charlie Morton and the Rays agreeing to 2 years, $30 million. Morton last year, 167 innings, 3.13 ERA. He also had, a career-high strikeout rate, Jim. 201 strikeouts in those 167 innings. It's his best, and he got off to this tremendous start. You just said, have trouble finishing off a season, but his first 10 games, look, his Ks per 9, outstanding, but he had a 2.04 ERA early on. They're getting him age 35 and 36. Your thoughts?
Well, an ERA plus of 129 too, and that's his career high. For me, because he doesn't have a lot of mileage on his arm, there's a couple ways to look at it. I still think there's plenty left in the tank. I didn't see any drop off in his stuff.
If all 29 other teams had known he was out there at 2 for 30, why weren't we playing a nice game of Price is Right coming in over the top? Hey, I'll give you 2 for 31. That's a very reasonable price tag for this guy.
Last year, 15-3 before finding himself in Tampa, where he went 16-6 this season.
Curveball struck him out swinging. 3 pitches, and down goes Aaron Judge. Curved him again and strikes him out. 10 strikeouts for Morton. Ground ball right side. Low with the pickup. Steps on the bag. And the Rays are going to the postseason.
Masataka Yoshida's deal with the Red Sox is going to be 5 years, more than $85 million. The post-team fee will be in the $15 million range, bringing the total outlay to be around $100 million that the Red Sox would spend on this age 29 player and outfielder.
It's really interesting, a little bit surprising. Remember, he was just posted today, and he's already making a deal. I think he thought he had 45 minutes, not 45 days to make a deal. What happened here all of a sudden? But the Red Sox got in quick. They made a deal, and ultimately they land a guy who's been a really good hitter in Japan. He's hit for average. A hit last year, hit 335, a 447 on base percentage. He has a great plate discipline. The ability to recognize ball from strike, fastball from breaking ball. 88 walks this year, 82 walks, 42 strikeouts were the numbers he had this past year. Puts the ball in play, no swing and miss, a lot of contact, and so it makes sense.
You see the batting titles there? This guy can hit. There's no question about that. It's a matter of, will he also hit for some extra bases in Fenway Park? We know it's a great hitting park. Wouldn't surprise me if he hits well over 300. That's where his value is going to come from.
I'm honored to be a Red Sox nation. I'll do my best. Thank you.
The Cubs were buyers when they could have been sellers. You're giving your team hope.
Basket is gone. Oh, baby.
They were so close and kind of fumbled it at the end.
It feels like the Cubs are just giving it away.
The Braves have done it again to the Chicago Cubs.
They didn't make the postseason, but they were right there.
If the Cubs are going to spend $8 million a year on a manager, you would have to think they're going to open up the checkbook.
Bottom line is the Cubs need some big stars.
They set themselves up for a really promising future.
Welcome back to the Best of Winter Meetings presented by Resnick. Well, the Chicago Cubs are currently investing huge money to be contenders, with Craig Counsell now leading the charge for a potential postseason run in 2024. But the Cubs are no strangers to a franchise rebuild. And may I remind you, they're no strangers to a rebuild paying off massively. Take a look at who comes in at number 5.
Matt Yaloff here at the Winter Meetings in San Diego, California, with breaking news. John Lester, according to Ken Rosenthal, our insider, is going to the Chicago Cubs. That is the story here. And the numbers here, according to Jeff Passan of Yahoo Sports, 6 years, $155 million. This has been the hottest story at these winter meetings. John Lester is going to the Cubs. Career breakdown. Regular season numbers are dwarfed by what he has done in the postseason. He is a wonderful historic postseason pitcher with a 2.57 ERA in 84 postseason innings. And I'm being told in my ear that Jeff Passan, who reported the 6 for 155, reports that the Red Sox offer was 6 for 135. That's a huge difference, $20 million. That's not really even the same range.
It's just a huge honor to be a part of this organization, and hopefully, like Theo said, World Series to come. So we're very excited. Obviously, first and foremost, I want to win regardless of where I'm at. That's something that we talked about extensively when we met, and I believe in the plan and that they have in place right now for the future of the Cubs.
Jon Lester's deal marked the start of the window for contention on the north side of Chicago, which culminated in a World Series title just 2 years later.
Lester has been sensational this postseason. Struck him out. That is right down the middle, and a big strikeout for Lester. John knows he is in a battle tonight against Corey Kluber. You see Lester getting ready.
Lester's payoff pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3.
Joe Madden more confidence in Lester than other people in his pen. Close game. A strikeout ends the inning. Lester pumped up, and they are back in Chicago. This is going to be a tough play. Bryant, the Cubs win the World Series. Bryant makes the play. It's over, and the Cubs have finally won it all.
A truly wild deal took place in 2013 between superstar Robinson Cano, the Seattle Mariners, and Jay-Z. Backed by Jay-Z's newly launched Rock Nation sports agency, Cano's deal was tied for the third largest in history at the time. Take a look at the breaking news on that day in 2013.
We roundly rejected most of the suggestions that this was going to happen. We all thought it was posturing by the Cano camp to get the price up in New York. That is apparently not the case. This Cano to Seattle thing is happening. Breaking news, Enrique Rojas of ESPN Deportes is reporting a 10-year, $240 million agreement between the Seattle Mariners and Robinson Cano. It's a report that our John Heyman is confirming. This would be the third highest deal, the third biggest contract ever signed by a Major League Baseball player, tying the deal that Albert Pujols signed with the Angels a couple of years ago. The only deals bigger, the two Alex Rodriguez contracts, and we know what's happening there. This is a staggering amount of money from an unlikely source. It's an unlikely fit, but apparently it's happening.
You never really thought Cano was going to go to Seattle.
No.
That's what makes it unbelievable.
I think he was a little upset with the Yankee negotiations. He felt he was a $200 million plus player. He'd seen Alex Rodriguez get that huge contract, which the Yankees regretted, and they didn't want to repeat anything like that. Not to say that Cano will end up like A-Rod, but I think he was upset. He was upset that Jacoby Ellsbury got $153 million, and here the Yankees are offering him about $10 million more than that, and feels he's a much better player. And you know what? Cano is the more accomplished player. We came into this free agent market looking at the lineup, and Cano was the clear number one, and Ellsbury and Chu were the clear 2 and 2A, I guess you could say, in that market.
You guys have been talking about how hot this guy's been. Perfect guy to have up there, right?
There it is. There's your ball game.
Get off it loose.
And coming around to scores Austin Jackson, and Robinson Cano wins the ball game here in the 11th. 7-6 Mariners.
Now a 7-5 advantage and nobody out.
Cano drives one. Deep right center field. Giddy up, baby, giddy up. God, he did it again. Robinson Cano with a 2-run homer. He is scorching hot. 2 2-run homers, 5 RBIs on the afternoon, and the Mariners have a 9-5 lead.
Another blockbuster deal happened just a few years prior to Cano in 2011, a deal that broke the hearts of many Cardinal fans as they watched a future first ballot Hall of Famer take his talents to the West Coast. Here's Albert Pujols signing with the Angels, which comes in at number 3.
MLB Network insider Ken Rosenthal, who broke the story of Pujols to the Angels. You've broken a lot of stories in your day.
And you had a real good feel that if Artie Moreno was in on this thing, it might get done, it might be the Angels.
I did have a feel that once they were in, they were in. It was not a joke. It was not a mystery team just being put out there for publicity reasons to drive up the price. At the same time, it was a shocking development. There's no question about that. Until Tuesday night late, the Angels were not ever mentioned in this mix. And the reason for that is they were not ever in this mix. The first call came Tuesday night, and it was about 10 o'clock at night from what I understand. So that's a really late development. The deal gets done Thursday morning. We're talking about a span of 36 hours. First contact, the deal. That's pretty rare.
When you think back of our time with Albert Pujols in the sense of being a part of our draft, being someone that comes up through our system and then produces to the level of greatness that he did, you really form a bond with a player like this, and it's more than just a player front office relationship. It's a friendship, and he was really such an integral part of this community and this organization.
Sitting on 499 home runs. It's just another throw over. No, it's a high pitch, and there it goes to left center, and that's number 500 for Albert Pujols.
Albert looking to become the 9th member of that 600 home run club. The 1-2, breaking ball out toward left field, hugging the line. This one's got a chance to go. Goal! Big fly for Albert Pujols, number 600.
Some deals during the winter meetings are truly surprising, and this was the case for the blockbuster trade between the White Sox and the Red Sox in 2016. Take a look at Chris Sale going to Boston, which comes in at number 2.
Chris, it's happening. Yoan Moncada, Kopech, and 2 other prospects to the White Sox for Chris Sale. He is going to be a member of the Red Sox with David Price, with Rick Porcello. The Red Sox are getting Chris Sale.
How about Sale here? There's no approval, no trade scenario.
No,
where
he has no trade.
He's all set,
he does not have a no trade clause, so it's a clean trade. He goes to the Red Sox, and the Red Sox get his contract, which is 3 years, $38 million. It's a bargain, one of the biggest bargains in sports for what he has accomplished. So for the Red Sox, it's a huge coup. The Nationals, of course, were in on this as well, but again, I'm reporting that Chris Sale is going to the Red Sox.
And this is one of these deals we're absolutely thrilled to have Chris Sale on board with us. We feel it gives us a chance to win now. He's under contract for 3 years. Our rotation, we feel, is very strong. We think we solidified our bullpen earlier in the day. We thought at this point that this gave us a significant chance to win. And you never can tell what happens if you can, first of all, make it to the postseason. But secondly, if you get there, do you progress from there? We saw last year we did not. But we think it gives us the best chance to do it, and it's not just for a one-year type of deal.
This is strikeout number 300. Reasonably assume this will be it for Chris Sale.
Sox fans know it. Here comes the 2-2. He struck him out. 300 strikeouts for Chris Sale. Just the second pitcher in Red Sox history to achieve it.
Now Boston will have Chris Sale on the mound trying to close down Game 5. Here comes a 1-2 pitch. Red Sox win the World Series. 5-1 the final tonight. And the best team in baseball wins it all in 2018.
Welcome back to the Best of Winter Meetings, presented by Cone Resnick. With the number one moment of the winter meetings yet to be revealed, let's rewind the clock a bit. History lesson for all you viewers at home. The first winter meetings event was held in 1876, well before the advent of film, let alone television. So who were the massive deals that changed the path of the team back in the day before our technologically savvy hot stove times? Let's find out who have been the talk of the town during the digital age in a segment we call Hot Stove Time Machine.
Booth was sold to New York, where he was to become the greatest public figure in the history of American sports. It's a homer by Babe Ruth.
Maris connects, and it's a high arching drive to right field for a home run. There was never any doubt about this drive.
And here comes Frank Robinson. He's still spearheading the Orioles.
There's another long blast out to the left field corner. And it's a home run for Frank Robinson.
Best pitcher in baseball. Tom Seaver, there he stood in the Cincinnati uniform.
Swung on and missed. Got him with a good high fastball.
Mets have added to their ranks the number one catcher in baseball, Gary Carter.
This could be the ball game. Deep to left, Gary Carter. A game-winning home run in the bottom of the 10th inning.
Now for the grand finale to our countdown. I'll give you a hint. Who signed the largest free agent contract in MLB history? In a few days, you may say Shohei Ohtani, but as of right now, it's the blockbuster $360 million deal for Aaron Judge with the Yankees.
Welcome to the winter meetings. We are live from San Diego. The news we've been waiting for is here. Aaron Judge remaining in pinstripes, 9 years, $360 million, as first reported by JP Morosi, Harold Reynolds. Good morning to you both. How did this get done in the wee hours, 5:20 Pacific time?
Yes, Lauren, daybreak here in San Diego, and we have significant news. Aaron Judge back to the Yankees on a 9-year deal, as you mentioned, Lauren. At the end of the day, I'm told he had higher offers elsewhere. He wanted to be a Yankee. And yes, he did come here to the West Coast yesterday. There were a lot of reports back and forth. Was he going to be here? Was he not? He did. He came to close the deal, Harold. And interestingly to me was the Padres got in at the last hour. Jeff Passan reported on that for ESPN. So just an extraordinary bit of news, Harold, and Aaron Judge back where he began, back where he belongs.
It is my great pleasure, thankfully, despite a brief absence, technically speaking, to welcome Aaron not only back to the Bronx, but to welcome Aaron back to the Bronx as the 16th captain of this great organization, the New York Yankees. An honor and a position which he greatly deserves.
How what you just said about getting a chance to be the captain of the Yankees now. That goes without saying what an honor that is. I look back at the list of Thurman Munson, Lou Gehrig, Ron Guidry, Willie Randolph, Derek Jeter, Don Mattingly. That's a pretty good list right there.
Do we even have to preface the stuff this guy is capable of on the field? Let him show you.
Aaron Judge crushes one deep to right center field. There it goes. See ya. He's done it again. 3 last night, 1 here in the first.
Aaron Judge is the fastest player ever to 250 career home runs.
Into Monument Park. The power is back. A grand slam for Judge.
His 3rd home run of the game. A Judgian blast to right field. And the Yankees take an 8-0 lead.
Kyle Channing MVP. What an evening for Aaron Judge.
Well, that wraps up our countdown. We've seen it all, from blockbuster deals to short-term contracts that pay off big and everything in between. For everyone here at MLB Network, my name's Greg Amsinger. Thank you so much for watching the best of winter meetings presented by Cone Resnick.